I just went viral on Airbnb with my worst Airbnb property, and this proves that your listing can beat the algorithm. My listing was so bad that it got suspended. It currently is a 4.35-star property, and look at this data. It has double the views of a listing that is guest favorites, while it also has less than half of the first page impressions of the listing that has guest favorites. This is 5 times the click-through result of the listing that's been playing by the rules. This may be the most significant breakthrough I've ever had in my 11 years as a host, my 8 years teaching. I am more excited about sharing this with you than I've been excited about anything in my entire life. This is amazing. What I've done is I've decided to approach Airbnb like it's my YouTube channel. I wanted to lean into the thing that you guys might not be so happy about, clickbait. I got a flair for drama, and I decided to lean into that flair for drama to see if I could reach through Airbnb and reach the customer in a way that they just couldn't not click on the listing. I've had this apartment building for 6 years, but one of these units is right above the street with these beautiful Juliet balcony doors. They're beautiful doors. But just last year, a new bar opens up down below, and they applied for a variance to put a patio on the sidewalk. Right in the street, there's a bunch of tables, and now music blasts all night until 2 a.m., and people are hollering and having fun 15 feet from the Juliet balcony doors. It's loud. It's annoying. Between that and the lack of free parking and the fact that the listing was ugly, this listing got suspended. A lot of you are going to tell me I told you so. If you've been here for 5 or 6 or 7 years and you're Airbnb hosts and you saw my early content and I was all about scale and keeping your housekeeping costs down, put it in the comments if you want to just brag that you were right. I had no clue how important design was 6 or 7 years ago. But a couple years ago, I've been on a warpath to make the coolest looking listings because I realized something. Airbnb is an emotional game. It's not just a logical operational game. Getting someone to book your listing is an emotional experience. And it's developed this theory about going viral on Airbnb and crushing the algorithm. And we did it. We absolutely did it. And this is so exciting. Let me go through and show you a video. I want you to know that this data is absolutely legit. When we log into the Airbnb platform and then we go to Insights, you can see down below, there's a list of all these different listings. You click on one and we can load the conversion metrics. The guest favorites listing, we're going to see that it gets 65% or better first page representation. That is the first big number, right after that total conversion. The number all the way to the right is probably 5% or better. That is a trust-related bottom-of-funnel conversion when someone clicks on your listing, and if they decide to book, that's how often that happens. Because it was a perfect 5-star listing with guest favorites for the longest time, and because there's nothing really inherently wrong with the listing, 5% is a really good conversion for a listing that just does its job, a basic listing. There are listings that do better than this, by the way, much better. You've got a beautiful, gorgeous 6-bedroom house in Scottsdale, perfect 5-star reviews, and your prices are right. You can get 12+%. I've seen here with some of my students. They crush. Now let's take it to the bad listing, my listing that's 4.35 stars that is getting more bookings, and I'm going to show you the calendar. I'm not lying to you. It's getting more bookings than the guest favorites, which is wild. This listing has over 70% click-through rate. That's 7-0. 7 out of every 10 times that the red room thumbnail, the hero photo is visible, somebody clicks on it. That is astronomically high, where the high watermark in this industry is 33%. You have a top row with 3 listings on Airbnb search. And if you can get clicked even to the fact that you're the top 3 listings shown on the platform, you get 1 out of 3 representation, that's 33% click-through. We've doubled that. Airbnb wants to suppress this listing because it's 4.35 stars. That's trash. Because of the bar outside and the lack of free parking and all that drama, it gets less than half the first page total impressions. When it does get impressions, less than half of the time it is first page. And the moment someone locks eyes on this listing, they have to click on it. They can even see that it's a 4.35 star listing when they're searching. They can see that number and they still click on this listing because we have psychologically maximized the click on this listing. And you can replicate this. You can get the same results as long as you understand that there is a human on the other side of the click. That we're not just in real estate. We're not just listing something for someone to find. It's not a grocery store where we are one of 1,000 apples in a cart. We can make our listing so good that Airbnb cannot stop us. And this listing, not only is it an Airbnb arbitrage, sure, it is a studio apartment in Dallas where the rent is less than $2,000 a month. Let's look at another property that I manage that is a $4 million Scottsdale mansion where the rent is $22,000 a month. 11x the rent. Also a guest favorite, but let's look at this. What percentage click-through does it get? Ballpark 25 to 30%, if I'm speaking from memory here. And what final conversion does it get? It's probably still close to 1%, just like my Red Room. This $4 million property is impressive. Standalone for its bones, impressive. And I took the worst listing in my portfolio and I got it to beat the best listing in my portfolio. If you want to talk to me directly about how we can pull this off with your listing, I'm going to leave a link down below. Airbnb has changed, along with the entire industry, to try to control what people see at the top of funnel. Make sure that people get safe listings. So that way Airbnb doesn't lose to hotels, where you provide a product and someone's upset and they leave to a hotel. Airbnb fights to keep guests safe. And if Airbnb thinks that you're unsafe, if they've misjudged your product as a bad product, they're going to hide you from guests, to keep guests from booking you because they've decided that your product isn't worth it, because your product isn't worth the risk of someone paying you to have a mediocre stay and then them leave to go to a Hilton. But this listing, 4-star trash, has cut through all of the supply on Airbnb. And you may agree when people say that Airbnb is oversupplied. And this furthers my point. This 4-star listing has cut through everything and it's getting 70% click-through rate with all of the oversupply. I want you to think about how exciting this is. This is truly exciting stuff. It doesn't matter if a market is oversupplied. It doesn't matter if the world is oversupplied. If you can understand what a customer wants and you can give them that in one photo and your title, if you can get inside their head with one photo, you win. It doesn't matter if there's 100,000 listings in your market. If you're the one that can speak through the one photo, you get to make all the money. Oversupply is a myth. And to a degree, the algorithm is a myth too. Sure, it will give you more swings of the bat. It will put you on the first page more often. But I have proven that hosts are so bad at this industry that you can make a listing that can have a 4.3-star rating and you can murder your competition. If you want to succeed, you just need to stop thinking like a real estate person. Got to start thinking like a marketer. And I can help you do that. The link down below is to talk to my team. But also, because things are free here on YouTube, this is the first video on our Go Viral on Airbnb series. And I'm going to be pumping some videos on how you can go viral on Airbnb too. 2026 is the year of the marketer, not the year of the real estate investor. Follow to be at the front of Airbnb. There's not another creator in the world that's going to teach you this stuff. They just don't have the brain for it. I'm the best in the world. I'm going to hang my hat on that. I will prove it to you. Welcome to the movement. I'll see you on the other side.